Numbers are everywhere. In fact, number is something that our computers understand properly. I should say numbers is the only thing that our computer understand properly. In this video, I'll be explaining you what numbers in Python is and how you can write efficient Python program using these techniques. So let's go to our Visual Studio Code and write some code. In our previous videos, we discussed about the data types and we also discussed about how you can check the data type of a given variable. In this video, we are going to be exploring the numbers data type. Guys, if you haven't already accessed my Python playlist, I would like to tell you that I am going to be uploading all the videos to this playlist. So make sure that you access this playlist and we're going to be adding more videos into this playlist. So now I'll create a new file. I'll call it tutorial3.py. And we're going to be writing some code. So as I've already told you in tutorial 2 that you can create a number, you can create an integer, you can create a floating point number, you can also create complex numbers. So let's start by creating a number. So I'll say num1 is equal to 45. Also we'll be saying num2 is equal to 46 and we will print num1 plus num2. So if I run this program, you'll see that my Python interpreter will be adding these two numbers. So if I check the output, it's gonna be 91. There you go, here is a 91 on a screen. Guys, before we move any further, I would like to tell you the rules to create variables in Python. Rules to create variables in Python. So a variable is nothing but an identifier. So in order to create a variable, you need to adhere to some of the rules. For example, if I create a variable which is something like this, which means it contains a space, and if I try to run this program, it'll tell me that you cannot do this. This is invalid syntax. So how to make sure that the variables you are creating are good for Python? So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna be listing all the rules that you need to take care of while declaring Python variables. So your variable name must start with a letter or underscore. So I will say must start with a letter or an underscore. So it must start with a letter or an underscore. So if your Python variable is not starting with a letter, which means it is starting with something like special characters or numbers, then it is not a valid Python syntax. Let me make it a comment so that this program goes through. Now if I create a variable 6, this is equal to 34, this is not correct and it will throw syntax error. So I'll write here, this will throw syntax error, and I'll be saving this, and I am gonna be commenting this line. Now again, so this was rule number 1. Coming to rule number 2, let me move this line above rule 1. You can move line in Visual Studio Code using your Alt and up and down arrow keys. If you press Alt key on your keyboard and you press up and down arrow keys, your line is gonna move up and down. So now I'm gonna be listing some more rules for creating Python variable. A variable cannot start with a number. As you already saw, a variable cannot start with a number. A variable can start with an underscore though. So now I'll be listing another rule for creating variable, which is variables are case sensitive, and we'll see what this means in a while. Before that, I'm gonna be writing a 4th rule, which is it can contain only alphanumeric characters and underscores. So can only contain underscores and alphanumeric characters. Numeric characters, and this is rule number 4. Let me close this. So here are 4 rules to create Python variables. First one, it must start with a letter or an underscore. If you are starting your variables with a number, it is not valid. If you are starting your Python variable with a dollar and you are saying $RR is equal to something, and if you run it, you're gonna be getting an error. It will say that this is invalid syntax. Coming to rule number 3, variables are case sensitive, which means if I say ff is equal to 34 and if I say capital ff is equal to 34, then small ff and capital ff, these both numbers, they are totally different. So these are rules for creating variables in journal. They need not be numbers. I did not tell you about this in tutorial number 2 on variables, so I'm telling it now. So you must make sure that all of your Python variables are satisfying all these rules. Moving towards the numbers, you can add 2 numbers like this. Talking about numbers, there are 3 types of numeric types in Python. So if I talk about Python numbers, then I'll say there are 3 types of numbers in Python, and number 1 is int, number 2 is float, and number 3 is complex. So we'll see all of these 3 data types one by one. So if I say x is equal to 1, then this is an integer data type of type int, integer numeric. Now again, if I talk about y is equal to, let us say 1.11, then this is a floating point, a float numeric type of type float. Talking about z is equal to, I'll say z is equal to 1.11 plus 5j, or let me say 1 plus 5j is a complex numeric data type of type complex. So let me fix the spelling of float here. I'll save it, and if I run it, you'll see syntax error because I did not comment this out. Let me comment this out and run this program once again, and you see 91 and this went through. So if I print x comma y comma z and I save it and I run it again, you'll see I'll have this 1.11 and 1 plus 5j, which is a complex number. Now again, you can also check the type of all these 3 numbers, and you will see int, float and complex respectively. Now again, a floating point number can also be a negative number. You can also put a minus sign before this integer data type, and you can do the same thing with complex data type as well. Now I would like to talk about type conversion. If you want to convert a number from one type to the other, you can do type conversion. So let's talk about type conversion here. So I'll say type conversion, and I will say c is equal to int y, and if I print c and I run this program, you'll see it shows me -1. So the value of y was -1.11. If I typecast it into an integer type, it will convert it to an integer number, which means it will no longer be a decimal number and it will be converted to an integer. So if it was 1.91 and if I run this program with the value of y is 1.91, it'll again be -1. So this is how you can change data type of a particular variable to another. Now again, you could have also done something like this, like d is equal to float x, and if you try to print d here, let me save it and let me run it once again. So if I run this, you'll see that the value of x is -1 and it is now converted to -1.0, and at the same time it is stored in d. When I say d is equal to float x, it means that whatever is returned by float x, put it inside this variable d. That's it, that's about it. So I hope you understood type conversion properly, and now we'll talk more about type conversion in the future. We'll see how we can convert strings to numbers and numbers to strings and float to strings and strings to floats. We'll do all kind of good stuff like this in the future, but for now this was about numbers and this was about rules for declaring a variable. So I hope you like this video. Again, if you haven't already accessed the Python playlist, go to the channel, make sure you have the playlist bookmarked. All you have to do is click on this view full playlist and bookmark it somewhere, save it so that you don't lose it, and I'm going to be adding more and more videos to this playlist. I hope you are enjoying this course. So guys, I hope you were able to understand what numbers in Python are, and all the techniques that I have shared in this video and the code that I'm writing in this video will be available in the description. So I want all of you to access that link from the description. I hope you are enjoying this course. If you are, give this video a like, and also tell me in the comment section what kind of exercise you are looking for, because I'm going to be dropping an exercise for you very soon. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time.